Vinyl Esquire.
You're now listening to the legendary Vinyl Esquire.
The podcast that uplifts the DJ culture and honors our legends. Vinyl Esquire with DJ Rip.
Vinyl Esquire. Vinyl Esquire.
Hello world, I want to welcome you to Vinyl Esquire, the podcast that delivers culture, truth, music. Would you join me, please, in welcoming DJ Rip?
Hello world, I want to welcome you to Vinyl Esquire, and my name is DJ Rip, and Vinyl Esquire is the legendary podcast that uplifts the DJ culture and honors our legends. So without further ado, I would like to introduce and welcome to Vinyl Esquire, the legendary DJ, the legendary artist and producer from Atlanta, DJ Taz.
Hey, what's up, man? Nice intro, brother.
Yeah, you know, you could use that for your next show or something if you want. It's cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I might drop. Drop.
All right, that's what it is. So, Taz, how you doing, man? You good?
Man, hey, man. The Most High is good, man. You know, I can't complain about anything, man. You know, it won't do me no good if I did.
Right. No doubt. Well, I'm glad the family and yourself is safe. Everything is good, and I appreciate you and thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Oh, no problem, man. Hey, man, it's an honor. It's an honor, most definitely.
No doubt. So let's go ahead and get started. So listen, this is Vinyl Esquire, the DJ podcast that uplifts the DJ culture and honors our legends. And you're definitely a legendary DJ from the A. And, you know, what you've done for Atlanta and the music is super dope. So let's get right back. Let's get right to it. Let's take it to the beginning. Is that all right?
Yes, let's go ahead. Let's go.
Okay. So, Taz, can you tell me who or what made you want to be a DJ?
Hey, man, actually, I was in my neighborhood, and they had talent shows at the event center, and it was a crew that I wanted to be a part of in my city. It was called Soul Patrol, you know, and it was a group of them, and some of my peers was in the group, and they performed, and this guy named Party P came on stage. He had a ninja suit on. I guess he got the idea from the UTFO DJ, whatever, and he came on stage. He had so much, you know, a flair, you know, and I'm like, yo, you know, he just impressed me how his stage presence was. But come think about it, he really wasn't, you know, he really wasn't a DJ. He was just flexing a lot, you know what I'm saying? But he encouraged me to pursue the craft, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, you got Jam Master Jay, you know, from Run DMC, you know, most definitely he was a big influence on just me wanting to really do it full time too. You know, as I got him more into it, it was the cut creator, the Bobcats, most definitely Bobcat. And, you know, me and Swift was just studying DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know, so, you know, just tap money, you know what I'm saying? So it was like so many DJs from up north that we were studying, you know, at the time, you know.
Right.
And that's kind of what influenced me, man, you know.
Okay.
You know.
So what year would you say you started DJing, and what was your first DJ name?
Okay. The year, it had to be in the mid-'80s. I think I was practicing on becoming a DJ. I wasn't really, like, good, you know. I think my first gig that I did have was in my projects that I had. They had a community center there, and you know, people gonna laugh, but I only had 2 records.
Okay.
2 records. I think I had 1 turntable in the mixer, but you know, that was my first initial gig, and I think my records I had was I can't remember what the other one was, but the other one was the Pee Wee Herman record. Because,
Okay.
you know, we was kids, 14 years of age, somewhere around that time. And I would just play that song, and it was another song that I played. You know, the kids didn't care because, you know, I was just happy to be there. They was happy to be there. You know, we were just all in our own world at the time. So, but, yeah, that's pretty much, you know, it had to be mid-'80s, 84, possibly 84. 84. Yeah.
So what was your first DJ name?
My first DJ name was DJ Rock the House.
Okay.
That's my first DJ name, DJ Rock the House. I don't know what made me come up with that name. I don't know what made me take on the name, but I don't know. I was just trying to come up with something creative that no one had at the time. And then I tried to abbreviate it at times, DJ RTH. And then at times I was like, okay, that name is too long. So, Swift had his name was DJ Swift or Cutmaster Swift. And then he changed it to DJ Swift. And then I'm like, okay, I need something short. And then Taz didn't come about as my DJ name as far as DJ. And DJ Taz came about me playing football. When I used to run on the football field, I used to, spin and, saying it's hard to tackle me. And, I use my hands a lot and stuff like that. So they started calling me Taz when I was playing football at Fulton High School.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I just said Taz, and I said, okay, I'm going to call myself DJ Taz, so, yes.
Got it. And you've always been cool with Cutmaster Swift, who became Outkast's DJ, right?
Yeah. Me and Swift, come to find out, like we, I moved in with my pops over in Polar Rock in Zone 3 Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And, my neighbors was taking me around, meeting everybody, whatever. I was playing basketball, and Swift happens to come by with two big Great Danes, Great Dane dogs I'd never seen before in my life. And I'm like, who's this guy walking these big horses,
Mm-hmm.
And they were so that's Swift, and I'm like, he was staring at me and I was staring at him, but my neighborhood, we didn't stare at each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he needs to stop staring at me like that, or he can get it, get it. You know what I mean? So I was on some like, fight stuff, and they said, nah, he cool, just then the other. Then, they took me down there to meet him, and we got talking. He said he DJ, and I'm like, I DJ too. So, and just so happy he stayed right around the corner and walking distance from my house,
Okay.
Yeah,
so you're originally from Atlanta, correct?
Well, I was actually born in Gainesville, Georgia.
Okay.
For the first 14 years of my life, for 15 years of my life, I stayed there. Then I moved to the Zone Polar Rock with my pops.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah.
So the reason why I brought that up is that there's so many legends that represent Atlanta respectfully, but they're not from Atlanta or not even from Georgia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, you being from the area, right? Talk to me about the beginnings of that ATL hip hop scene and that ATL movement at that time for you. How was that beginnings for you? Describe that for me.
Man, I could tell you it's a whole nother world. And I'm gonna tell you, man, really, the DJs was like everything too. But in Atlanta, what had the motivation, made everybody motivated, and everybody was like, it was like a whole nother world, was the dancing culture there. And it was their own dancing. We had our own dancing culture called Yeek. It started from the skating rink at the Jelly Beans and stuff like that. So, but it was a lot of dancing crews. Saying these guys had finger waves. They wore polo or saying they Stan Smiths. Saying they had their own dress codes. It all depends on what dance crew it was. But the talent shows at the high schools were like the biggest things ever. And I'm saying, and for you to be able to make a dance tape for these dance crews, was an honor. That, they was very creative and we was creative. And so that was like the whole movement, like either, you're a DJ that make the dance tape for the dance crews, and you most definitely you DJed at your high school parties and your local neighborhoods and stuff like that. So it was a like unspoken movement that a lot of people didn't know about, that don't know about, how it all began in Atlanta. We had our first rapper here, which was Mojo. A lot of people don't know that. Mojo was the first rapper in Atlanta. Then you got the Kilos, the Raheems, the Shadis, the Damages, the Hard Boys, and so on and so forth. It's a lot of people don't know. A lot of artists, a lot of things came out way before Outkast, way before Good and Mob, and way before a lot of things. A lot of people ain't, ain't up on who really kind of started the culture in Atlanta. But I would say the dance culture and the DJs was major, in Atlanta before, like rap even took form. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
I mean, we was listening to music. I mean, of rappers and from different cities and stuff. But yet still, we haven't came up with our own genre in Atlanta, our own style of music in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It was, of course, it was always New York. You know what I'm saying? And, majority New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was mostly, we was teenagers. 15, 16, 17 years of age, 18. And it was the dance culture and the DJs, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the reason why I asked you, because again, there isn't a lot of talk about that beginning of Atlanta, like mid 80s, into the late 80s, not into the 90s, you know what I mean? But, that's why I wanted to know for you, what did it look like? Like who influenced you, around that time frame, locally and, nationally?
Mm-hmm. Well, as far as I'm going to tell you, when I find out a local DJ, I'm going to tell you, Swift turned me on to him. I was real good about putting these cassette tapes that they was broken. I knew how to splice them together, you know what I'm saying, put them back together. Some people may know about that, but, some other DJs know about that. A lot of old school DJs know about, putting them tapes back together, splicing them together. So Swift was like, man, this dude, DJ Toomp, he's bad. Toomp, DJ Toomp. And I'm like, yeah, man, at a certain point in time, you think you're the baddest DJ on earth. You ain't nobody can touch you, you know what I'm saying? So, and I put the tape together. We played the tape, and he was backing up It's Time, the Hashem record. He was doing It's Time and Just Feel It. Just Feel It, It's Time. He was going back. He was back. This was on the tape.
Right.
And I'm like, man, ain't nowhere in the world that's one person, bro. That can't be. That got to be two people DJing. That's not one person backing the songs up, right? He said, no, that's two. That's him. I said, man, he fast, right? I'm like, yo. And then, I seen him and DJ Nabs in Piedmont Park. Now I'm saying I didn't know it was a DJ battle going on that day. But it was like, we're going to have a DJ battle, DJ Toomp and DJ Nabs. So I made my way through the crowd, man, in front and center. I'm sitting there watching. I said, I want to see it with my own eyes. And everything I heard on that tape, I seen him do live. And then DJ Nabs wasn't no slouch either. So I'm saying that was the first time I ever heard. I think he just came to Atlanta from North Carolina. And I seen him do some tricks, and Toomp was doing some tricks. And I'm like, that motivated me again. I ran to the payphone, back then we had cell phones. So I ran to the payphone and I called Soup. I said, man, we got to get back in the lab, bro. We got to get back in the lab because what I just seen, man, we got to do some more practicing, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty much.
So what year was that? Was that late 80s?
Yeah, that was late 80s.
Okay.
That had to be, 86, 87, maybe, somewhere around there.
Got you. Okay. So you would say locally, a major influence was Toomp and Nabs at that moment. Yeah. You would say
that moment. Yeah, DJ Toomp, most definitely. Yes.
Got you. So where did you go from that point, and how did you get into producing?
Me and Swift, we should normally just, we studied other DJs. We studied, like music, that we got from record pools and stuff like that. We just studied, and I think I had left for a while, went back up to Gainesville, Georgia for a minute, and I came back, Swift was a part of a production company called Masters and Masters, and he was like, hey man, I'm producing now. I'm like, are you producing? So we always talked about the SB 1200 drum machine, and the bass that the bass that it made, the sound that it made, and everything like this. So I visited the studio, in the company, and this guy that was in there, his name was Corey Wilson. they call him the Masters. You know, the Master, he can freestyle all day long. You know, he was a real lyricist, but he was also knowledgeable about the equipment. You know, so I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if I can learn the equipment, I think I can be creative. You know what I'm saying? So he taught me how to, you know what I'm saying, run the SB 1200. You know, I learned some stuff from Swift, and then the stuff I picked up on my own. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, okay, I know how to play a little keys on the keyboard a little bit. So I want to try to combine the two. And so it was kind of like in the late 80s when I started, you know what I mean? Started producing, but not professionally. You know, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Right.
You know, still trying to figure it out. And I had my first opportunity to be a rapper up on the Masters and Masters, because they had a group called 9 Milli. I was part of the 9 Milli crew too. And so, and my first initial recording as a rapper, you know, and you know, back then, you know, you had the real tapes, and the studio time was very expensive, so you had to get it right. You had to know your lyrics. You know, you had to, you know how to remember your lyrics or whatever. But anyway, I'm going off into some other stuff.
But that's good, because my next question was, what was the first record you got the opportunity to record? And let me guess, I believe that Swift was the DJ for 9 Milli. Is that correct?
Swift was the DJ. Yep.
Okay, all right. So it makes it makes a lot of sense now, because I've interviewed Swift as well, and we talked about this. So talk to me about this, you know, 9 Milli, the first opportunity you had to record a record.
Now, we had our studio, right? And so I can't remember. Swift probably can remember better than I could, or either Corey. But I just know it was a big talk around our studio, you know, our company, our crew, that was going to record, you know, our first recording, you know. And but I had been to a studio before, because my father and my uncle them had a gospel group called the Shalom Gospel Singers.
Okay.
So we went to the Brunner Brothers studio. I think it was called Haywood Studio. You know, the Brunner Brothers, one of the Brunner Brothers. Anyway, so anyway, we talking about going to the studio. Everybody was excited. And we actually go to the studio, and it's in a house. It's in a nice house in a nice neighborhood, like a mini mansion. So, but you know, everybody, like, you know, our thing was make sure you know your lyrics. Make sure you know. I think Low, you know, so Angelo Redding, you know, saying he's a kin to Andre 3000. But anyway,
okay.
So I'm saying, so. Everybody, like he said, everybody like you. Make sure y'all got your lyrics together. Make sure you know about heart, cause this studio time is very expensive. And boom, boom, boom. So this is the first time we left up our studio and we recorded at another studio. But it was supposed to be in the state of an art professional studio. And so I don't remember the song, but I knew it was like it was more as a hip hop song, mid tempo. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember me just going over my lyrics, because, you know, I was a DJ, producer, or wasn't, you know, no rapper. You know, I was producing rappers or trying to push rappers, but I wasn't no rapper, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm going to try to make it the best rap that I can make it, you know what I'm saying? So no one, you know, back then you didn't let anybody know or look at your raps or hear your rap before you record it.
Mm-hmm.
That was our thing that we did. So, yeah, then I went in there, crushed it, man. First time, you know what I'm saying? I was nervous, though. Like,
right.
Like, man, that thing hard, man. I don't think the word was hard back then, but yeah.
So from my understanding, 9 Milli was more like were you guys more like a militant group or more conscious rap? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yes. We was big on the X-Clan. We was big on Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying? We was big on just consciousness, period, you know.
Right.
We look like a gangster rap group though, cause we wore all black, and we had bodyguards. You know, we had, you know, Hype Master Low, which was Andre 3000 cousin. So you know what I'm saying? So we had a whole crew. Everybody played their role in a position. So we were moved as one out in public. People like, boy, them boys, that's a gang, you know. Then we start, you know what I'm saying, Corey Masters was the lead rapper, you know what I'm saying, in the crew.
Gotcha.
Of 9 Milli. So yeah, he was, you know what I'm saying. So that's what we was on back then. And then, I think I think Swift ended up producing the Party record, What's Up, which and it was another record. He produced a few records, you know what I'm saying? So
Right. So
I was more so, I guess my lyrics was more so, I can't remember my first rhyme, but I always kind of been, street mentality type dude, because I came up in the hood, in the projects, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't think I cussed on the record at the time, but yeah, anyway.
So let me also add another rumor, which might not be a rumor, it may be fact, that 9 Milli also was the group that kind of gave Outkast, before they were called Outkast, an opportunity to perform and kind of break themselves in. Is that correct?
Yeah, they was around. They came around when we were doing our thing.
Because they were a group before they were called Outkast. I can't remember what
I think I don't know what Outkast was, but I just know I think it was East Coast. East Point Chain Gang, the Lumberjacks. I think that was Good Mob. Them. I don't know what Big Boy and Dre was called at the time.
Right.
I don't even know if they were a group at the time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Got you. Okay. So 9 Milli, you're rapping, right? Okay. So how do you go from 9 Milli? By the way, was any of those 9 Milli records pressed up on vinyl or put out, or was it just?
Yeah. Put out.
Wow. Nice.
Our first. The first song I know I was on, I think it was just cassette tape.
Mm-hmm.
I think Corey may have those, and then we did get some songs pressed up. It was that What's Up record. And it was a video shot to that record.
Right.
I wasn't even on the record, but you know what I'm saying, it was a 9 Milli, still 9 Milli. They came off from being militant and did a dance record,
Right. And, okay. So how do you go from 9 Milli to becoming DJ Taz and then, starting producing your records? How do you go from that to DJ Taz?
Okay. I landed a DJ gig at the Silver Fox, which is on Bankhead on the west side of Atlanta.
Okay.
All right. And I was the DJ over there for a couple of years. And it was a known spot. It was a popular spot. It was Sunday was the best. The club closed at 6 in the morning. The who's of the city in different states used to come through there. And I think I went to one of the guys that owned the place, and he's like, man, you just DJ? I said, I produce music, man. I was just telling him, what I did. He said, okay, well, he said, I might got something for you, man. I'm trying to put something together, His name was Q Ball, and so I'm still a DJ. And then on the Thursday, Kilo, some guy from Born Home, Kilo, and I think it was can I cuss on here?
You can say anything you want, sir.
Okay. So it was Kilo, Shit Talk, and it was Mook B from who's part of D4L right now. And it was I think Mac Daddy Mark. All of them from Born Homes, right? And they was in a cipher. They was like, hey man, put on the instrumental. So I had a tape full of beats that I made. I say I ain't gonna put on somebody else's instrumental on the vinyl. I'm just gonna put this tape in and just see what they do. So I just press play, and they was doing a cipher. Kilo, Shit Talk, Mook B, Mac Daddy Mark. You know what I'm saying? And actually, so the song went off. The beat went off. On tapes back then. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to rewind it back because they was like, yo man, play that song, play that beat again. And I'm like, hold up. So I had to rewind it back, and they was impatient. They was impatient for the rewind back to the beginning. So I think Mook B came out in the booth and like, hey man, play that back. I got Kilo out here, man. I didn't know that was Kilo.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, I got Kilo out here, man. He said, man, that beat nice, man. This, that, and the other, man. I said, man, I got it on the tape, man. That ain't on the record. It ain't on the vinyl. He said, well, who made that beat? I said, I made that beat. He said, I'm gonna send Kilo up here, man. He said, man, play that thing good. Play that thing again, man. That shit banging. I said, all right, bet. Played it again. They did it again. Kilo came up in the booth. He stumbled up in the booth. I think he had a little bit much to drink. Fell up in the booth and said, "Shawty, who made that beat, Shawty?" I said, "I made that beat." He said, man, come get my number, man. Let's swap number. I'm gonna be at this table over here talking to this girl, man. I'm like, I bet. So I'm like, I was a fan. I heard a Kilo, you know what I'm saying? I heard him. I'm trying to be like, I ain't gonna be no groupie or nothing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, so I went to go holler at him. I waited for a good little 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Then I went to go holler at him. And I had wrote my number down. And I gave it to him, So when you know what I'm saying? So anyway, he said, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I ain't even think he was gonna call, but he called me like 8 o'clock that morning. I'm like, who does this? You know what I'm saying?
Right, y'all was up all night, right?
right. He called me at 8 o'clock in the morning, right, with his manager on the phone. His manager was named Pablo. And I'm like, yo. He was like, yo, Taz. He said, I got my manager on the phone, Pablo. He said, no. I said, what, Taz? He said, what's up? So I'm nervous now, so let me call. I said, hold on, man, I got to call my manager. And I called one of my homeboys that was in college.
Right.
I said, man, play like you my manager. I got Kilo and his manager on the phone. It's all right, cool. I clicked him in. So he began just talking and everything. And Kilo like, hey, Tad, man, that's your friend, man. Just get him off the line. He peeped the game. I was like, damn. I said, man, I'll call you back, man. His name was TK. I said, TK, I'm going to call you back. So Pablo like, look, Taz, you and Kilo need to get together so y'all can form a bond, relationship. Y'all need to get together, man. Saying, let him check out some music. Y'all go hang out and this, that, and the other. And then Kilo like, yeah, man. Said, what side of town you on? I'm in zone 3. He said, I'm over here in Bourne Homes, man. Come and pick me up. And I'm like, come and pick you up. And I knew about Bourne Homes because, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I did some street shit before.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go get my work from Bourne Homes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, not to put that out there. But anyway, but I just did.
Right. All good. Go ahead.
But anyway, so I go over there and see Kilo, man, and we gonna hang out, go swimming. We, racing in the streets, you know what I'm saying? We just hanging out, man, trying to, kind of find out he was like the same kind of cat I was in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? He was a music guy over there, you know what I'm saying? I was the music guy in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So, this is like when I moved out from Polar Rock, but, before Polar Rock, anyway. But anyway, so, we just, just bonded, man. And then I started producing music, you know what I'm saying, when he wasn't even around. But I realized that he was a genius. Like a genius. His work ethic was impeccable. I'm like, yo. Like he was an artist, like for real. I had been developing my brother, you know what I'm saying, for a while. His name is K9. And he's a lyricist. And I mean, he's fine. I think to this day he can get with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? I think he up there with Jay-Z. He just ain't got Jay-Z fame and money.
Okay.
But I'm like, but when I met Kilo, he was something different. You know what I'm saying? He was just something different artist-wise. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and I started learning from him. Even though he was a little younger than I was, and I'm like, I was learning from him. I'm like, okay, So, my first record that he picked, my first beat he picked was the Nasty Dancer record. And this time I was still at Masters of Masters. I was still over with 9 Milli, And, at 9 Milli, we was a crew, but Swift was the golden boy over at 9 Milli. He was the, the DJ, he was the producer, we get all the work and everything like that first. I consider myself as the rut, you know what I'm saying? But Kilo was like, he wanted to hear some beats. So we came to the studio. I let him check out some tracks. And he said, Taz, I just want to work with you. I don't want to work with nobody from 9 Milli, just you. And I'm sorry, I bet. I don't know how they're going to feel about it, but okay. But it's an opportunity. He was signed, I think he was signed to Ichiban Records at the time.
Right.
And so he had a record deal. We was independent, you know what I'm saying? So he was established and we wasn't, you know what I mean? So I just thought it was a good opportunity. And we was at my mom's crib. We was on my mom's back porch in the 4th ward of Atlanta, in the 4th ward. And we came up with the Nasty Dancer. He came up with an idea for Nasty Dancer on my mom's back porch. And then, I played the Nasty Dancer track you know, saying that, you know, I had no intentions on making it for the hook or whatever, but he, you know, he heard the beat. He was like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? We want to use the beat. All right, cool. So we used the beat, Nasty Dancer, man, and it blew up, just blew up. You know, blew up bigger than any 9mm record did, you know, at the time, and that we put out, you know what I'm saying? You know, I had producers, you know, produced a group called Thomasville Click too. You know, they was more of a street crew.
Okay.
But that record did okay, but you know what I'm saying, this Kilo record, bro. And it was my first time actually being like you know, part of a artist that was, you know, of his caliber. And then also first time ever I went to a record label, which was Itchy Bun Records. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen that, I'm like, oh, this stuff is for real.
Right. So you would say that was your first record that you actually produced on your own, which was Kilo Nasty Dancer, released on Itchy Bun, yes?
Yes. Yeah, I was producing other records before then, but this, you know, there was guys that had, you know, guys I was producing, they was independent, they was independent, but he actually had a deal, and he already had songs out from an independent standpoint.
Right, got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now the record Nasty Dancer, from my understanding, up until now has been sampled by other people. Is that correct?
Yep. There been some people sampling it. What's that group name? I can't even think of their dang on name. But I know Ray Schmurmer, people done reached out. They want to use that record. So we in the process of getting it cleared for them to use right now.
Okay.
It's I forgot the other group name, but they had took it without our permission. They saying this song part of the hook without our permission. So yeah, but you know, that's some other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been signed to multiple labels in your career, right? So from EMI Records to Priority Records and Universal Records. So I just want you to kind of elaborate a little bit on how you got your first deal as a solo artist, but more importantly, talk to me about your first hit single, That's Right, featuring Miss Nika and Raheem the Dream.
Okay, but let me tell you what motivated it.
Okay.
Me and Kilo, we fell out. I was his road DJ and producer, but he and I fell out. And I didn't have anything to know anything like what am I gonna do next. And at this particular time, the hit record is still full steam ahead. The Nasty Dancer record is booming everywhere. So this is the time me and him fall out. So I'm like, I need my next move. So I'm gonna remind you back to the point where 9mm put out the song What's Up, What's Up. And this guy who put it out with them was named Chris Jones from Success Records. So I'm still scrounging and looking for that, but I first had to produce a song. So remind you, I'm jumping on the bus at this time, catching the bus all the way from Lithonia at this time back to Atlanta to Swift House. And Swift, I didn't have no studio to do anything out of right now. Swift had it set up at his house. He had some, the SP1200 and some stuff set up at his house, the turntables and stuff. So I went to his house and, stayed over there a few nights, man. And I was just remembering as DJs or just coming up as a little kid at house parties that was outside and people was dancing, slow drag. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I always liked that song by Ready for the World, Love You Down. Tonight is the record.
Tonight, right.
So as DJs in Atlanta, what we used to do is take like fast tempo songs, like 135 beats per minute, 130 or 140, somewhere around there. And we used to take slow songs, R&B records, and mix the bass beat in with slow music up under it. And then we might put some 808 on top of it. And, that's how we used to ride around and listen to our music. So So I'm gonna make a song. I want to make a song like that, like a song, not just some DJ stuff. So, but I took the song "Ready for the World" and I sampled it. And back then a lot of producers know on the SP1200 you didn't have that much sampling time.
Right.
So we used to actually speed up the records with our fingers real fast, and then we'll slow the sample down so we can have most sampling time. We chop it up, truncate it, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I actually sampled that record, and then I put a bass beat with it. From the SP1200, and then I'm like, since I had out Nasty Dancer with Kilo and the female singing on the hook, I said I need another female singing on the hook. So I said I want this to be a party record. So I called up. I didn't want to get the girl who sung on Nasty Dancer to sing on the That's Right record because I think her and Swift was going through something at the time, but I was more loyal to Swift at the time than his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So, so I'm like, so let me call Raheem up and ask Raheem, did he know anybody that could sing? And he was like, yeah. So he put old girl on the phone. I played the beat over the phone. I told her what the hook was, and she sung it over the phone. And I'm like, boom. And now I know I got something. So now I call up Chris from Success Records and say, hey, man, me and Kilo, we fell out. What you got going on? Boom, boom. So I went over there, met with him, talked, and he was like, why don't you come out as an artist? I said, an artist? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you come out with an artist, man. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, bet, I ain't no problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. So I signed a contract with him. Took the song over there. Jerry Flowers was the engineer. I wrote the record. She came and sung it. I had to come back and do my lyrics over because I was like fast rapping. They were like, you country. Nobody don't know what you saying. You don't know none of the stuff you talking about. So, Raheem, first I was supposed to got Kilo on the record. But Kilo, man, like I said, me and him fell out.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So I had to get Raheem. Call Raheem. Raheem like, yeah, I get on the record. I was like, bet. So Raheem came and laid his verse. And then so Chris was like, you see, I can hear everything Raheem saying. You can understand this,
Right.
I wasn't never trying to be no rapper, bro. I just knew how to rap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I know how to put a song together. So anyway, I went back and rewrote my lyrics, and my verses and stuff like that. And I came back to the studio and laid them back down. And then it was like, okay, cool. Jerry Flowers had already produced like Keith Sweat and some more people. He was already a platinum producer. So he was like, he looked at me, his eye was big. He said, Taz, yo, you got a hit record, man. It's a hit song, man. So his mouth was watering. I'm like, why he looking like that? I didn't know the meaning of having no hit record,
Right.
Anyway, he, they did the right thing. I think the first DJ I gave it to was DJ Jelly, and Jelly played it on 5 o'clock traffic jam. I think it was 97.5 at the time. He played, he backed it up on, he mixed it in. He started off his mix with it and everything like that, man. And then, as it was a popular club in Atlanta called Illusions. And so I would go out there and with CDs. Back then, CDs was like gold, Somebody gave you a CD because, they were just coming in. They were coming off from the tapes.
Right.
So I'm sitting outside the club with probably like 50 CDs.
Okay.
And I waited to people. I didn't go inside the club or nothing. I knew the club closed at 3 o'clock. I said, I'm going to sit out here till they come out of the club. So when people came out the club, I just handed them a CD and said, you giving it to me for free? I said, yeah, here. It was a single, the That's Right single. Just gave it to them. And it was packaged up nice. And they said, I ain't never had no CD. I ain't never played no CD in my car. Boom, boom, boom. That's how I knew it was. So I gave them the CD. I gave 50 people CDs after they come out of the club. Hey, boom, here you go. Boom, 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 boom. They didn't know who I was or nothing like that. I just passed them out. As they got in their car, they put it in. They was excited to even put a CD in a CD player in their car, and they put it in there. As they pulling off, they playing it, that was my way of promoting it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
and whatever the record company did on their end, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how the That's Right record and DJ Taz was formed.
Wow. So I'm assuming from that point came a deal because you released your debut album worldwide in 1997, right?
Well, so I was signed with Success Records. From the buzz that was going on from Atlanta, from the Southeast region, it just spread like wildfire. You know what I'm saying? Starting in Atlanta, then it went out to Alabama, it went down to Florida, went down to Mississippi, Texas, you know what I'm saying, South Carolina, North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? So then I think somebody honed in with Chris from the West Coast. I think his name was David Mitchery. You know what I'm saying? He had a situation with Priority Records. So I guess Success Records and Priority Records and David Mitchery had a deal.
Okay.
But what ended up happening is, Chris Jones, he breached his contract. David Mitchery, you know what I'm saying, he was a crook. So my lawyer worked it out where I can get a direct line with myself and the record label, which was Priority at the time. And then I think some form of fashion, I think Priority passed the buck on the EMI, or EMI did some form of promotion or marketing. I don't know the whole structure, how they did it. But I know I got some wax with EMI on it, and I got some wax with Priority Records on it and tapes and shit. So two different companies was like, you know. And then as far as Universal just happens to just buy my catalog of my first album. So that's how Universal got involved.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So what label put out Worldwide, the debut album in 97?
Well, it was a mixture of Success Records, Breakaway Records, and Priority Records.
Okay, gotcha.
It was EMI. I can't remember which one. They put out the whole album. And let you know, man, like I was a rapper and producer, DJ from the South. You know what I'm saying? Priority was a label that was on the West Coast.
Right.
And so they had either people from the West Coast working for them or in New York. So when I actually initially went out there to sit down to see what my next single going to be off my album, they did not have a clue, period. You know, I was out here performing in the Southeast region. I knew the songs that they liked and they enjoyed, but I guess they was looking at it from a record company standpoint, and I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, supposing it. But the guy named, I forgot his name, man. He's from New York, man. He actually picked my next single. And I'm like, he said, you pick one and I pick one. I'm like, I'd rather go with these two right here that I know that it will work. I'm a DJ, first of all.
Right.
And I know what works in my region. You know what I mean? Like, so he picked the record off the album, which was nothing but an album filler. And it was corny. It was country. I made it country on purpose because, you know what I'm saying, we got tired of people saying, oh, they country. So I just made it, you know, sarcastically, but the lyrics I was saying then wasn't sarcastic, you know what I mean? So it was like some battle shit on a country beat back then. But anyway, it flopped, you know. It flopped. The next single flopped. So, you know, when you with a label and your next single start declining or not even climbing the charts, they gonna move on to something else.
Right.
They jumped on the bandwagon because of That's Right, and that's what we created, you know what I'm saying, independently first. So it kind of, you know, went from that, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Well, we already talked about Nasty Dancer that you produced for Kilo Ali, right? And then you had the hit single, That's Right, featuring Nika and Raheem the Dream. So you were also featured on a record produced by DJ Smurf, aka Collie Park, called Girls. Talk to me about that record.
Well, I was surprised that Smurf even called me up. You know, he was signed with I don't know if he was signed with Koch or he was signed with Ichiban at the time. I think he was signed with Ichiban Records. He was signed with Ichiban. And he called me up and said, man, I just need a verse from you. And I don't know if he sent me the record via tape gave me the record on a tape, or I wrote it right there on the spot. You know, I don't know if I wrote the song, my verse on the spot. So I just, you know, they had a studio in the house, you know, so I went over, got the guy's name. I kind of knew the guy. He produced too. But I just went in there and laid my verse on there, man, and just smashed it and left. And I had a cold when I left. I had a cold when I was recording. I had a cold when I did that verse, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity. So I went ahead and just laid it down. And then from that point, man, you know, the record company did what it did. You know, I heard it playing on the radio, and next thing you know, we flying out to Chicago to shoot the video.
Okay.
And next thing you know, we're doing shows with Good Mob and Bone Thugs and Harmony and Luke and all that. And I'm like, yo, this record doing pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened right there, man.
Was it just you on the record, or was it someone else on the record with you?
No, it was me, DJ Smurf, and it was DJ Kizzy Rock.
Got it.
All
Okay.
all DJs on this record's rapping.
Right. Wow. Incredible. And, you know, it just seems like the pattern of these DJ dance singles were really big in the South, and it was really incredible.
Yes.
Incredible. So you also produced a record called Donkey Kong and a few others. So is there any other records that you were featured on or you produced that we haven't talked about?
Well, that Donkey Kong record, that's Kilo record, and Cool C, you know, he get more credit than I do for that. Well, as of now, you know, I'm listed up under the American Has a Problem song by Beyonce.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As composer and lyricist on the record. They primarily took us a record that Kilo, you know, had out back then, and I think the Dream produced it or whatever. So that's currently out right now. It's called American Has a Problem by Beyonce, and it's on the charts right now.
And this is a record you produced, Kilo rhymed on, and Beyonce sampled it like for her intro for a song on her new album, right?
She sampled it. Yeah, she sampled the intro on there, this, that, and the other, you know, saying it. And actually, the original copy of the original composition of that song, I did not produce.
Okay.
But I went back and reproduced the song and re-recorded and remixed and remastered, and we put it back out. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
And that's is that the version that she sampled?
That's not the version she sampled.
Okay.
Which is crazy, but you know, I got credit. So
well, we'll take it, right?
We'll take it.
I mean, Taz, that's incredible, man. Again, your influence and these records, they just not that you want them to, but they will never die. They're timeless, right? So so you're also a club DJ, tour DJ, producer, and artist. So what new projects are you currently working on? I
recently working on, and we still got to put marketing behind it, is Wild Cow. Wild Cow, y'all know him as Cal Norman from Jagged Edge, the group Jagged Edge.
Yes, sir.
So he and I got together he had been bugging me for years to get with him to make this whole new blues project. You know, it's not R&B, it's not, you know, it's new blues. It's something we came up with, a whole different kind of genre of music, but you'll hear the blues in there and Southern soul and a little rock and roll and hip hop in it or whatever, but he's singing, and he's not singing like you would hear him singing on the R&B record of Jagged Edge. So he got this raspy, grimy voice. His natural tone voice, he just, if you ever talk to him, anybody ever talk to him, he got this raspy voice. You know what I'm saying? He country is, I don't know. I'm country, but he country. You know what I'm saying? When he talk.
Right.
So, but yeah, so it's heartfelt music. It's for the man, you know what I'm saying? Because very rare do we have music that, you know, represent us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got the Beyonce, you got the you know, all, you know, the women, you know, some of the women forming together, bashing men, and, you know what I'm saying, but we don't have music for us, you know what I'm saying, like, we go through things, you know. We may have our conversations in the barbershops, but what do we have as men? We go inside the stores, you know what I'm saying, any store we go into, the women clothes section is bigger than ours, they shoe section is bigger than ours, you know what I'm saying, we got a little corner over here with our clothes over here. So, you know, so we need something for the man, you know what I'm saying, we ain't excluding women from the music, we just like, hey man, we making it for the man, but the women will be able to enjoy it too. So it's Southern Soul. So we got a few songs that's out called Get It Out the Mud, you know what I'm saying, and Jody. Those are two songs that we did drop. And, you know, we haven't, you know, we put it up under my label, which is Santron Music. So, you know, independently, you know, we still working it. Some people know about it, some people don't. So,
Gotcha.
I put some more marketing behind it, basically. And then, you know, Cal still is a member and still singing with Jagged Edge. So, you know, the scheduling got to be whatever. But we got some great music, though.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So what's the name of the project again?
It's called, the two singles that's out right now is called Jody, and the other one is called Get It Out the Mud. Those are two singles that we put out. We put out one called Colors too, kind of talking about, you know, the racism and all that type of stuff. But, you know.
Gotcha. And what is he going by for this particular project?
Wild Cow.
Wild Kyle. Cow.
W-Y-L-D. W-Y-L-D. Cal. K-Y-L-E.
Got it.
Wild Cow.
Got it. Okay.
Basically, that's who he is. He's a wild dude.
Right. Got it. Okay.
We got a G card though, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Okay. So that's one project. Now I understand.
The one project.
Right.
Another project we got that I put out is with King Russell called Tap In. You know, it's a Southern Soul bass record. You know what I'm saying? So I've been producing a lot of Southern Soul, but I did come back to the hip hop now and put out something that me and DJ Wiz conquered up called You Mad Boy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So the You Mad Boy record is like, it's smashing. It's on some hip hop stuff, and it's like on some, it's in the now space.
Right.
It's in the now space right now. So we working that record too, man. So we've been getting some great response from it. Every time we play it, people bopping and singing the hook and everything like that. So shout out to DJ Wiz, because, you know, he kind of like be that man on your shoulder, kind of, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Salute to Wiz, by the way. Wiz is my production partner in Vintage Tunes.
Right.
And my partner in Venture Distribution, which is actually, we're distributing your record, You're Mad Boy.
Yeah. That's right.
You know, which is, you know, it's an honor, you know, appreciate you, you know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to get to that, to talk about the single, You Mad Boy, because You Mad Boy is kind of not a derivative, but it connects you back to your first records, right? That's right.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what's in the future for DJ Taz.
Well, quiet is kept, man. Quiet is kept, man. It's, you know, and it's kind of crazy, man, because, you know, the Most High keep blessing you, man, and you be like, hey, man, is it over? Am I too old? But, you know, and people give me your flowers, man, and calling you a legend. I'm like, a legend, man? I'm you know, I still got more in me. You know, I'm not dead, you know, but it's an honor to be called a legend. It's an honor to be called pioneer or icon or whatever. But, you know, I don't really see myself that way. You know, not in a negative way, but like, you know, humbly I accept, you know, all things that's positive, whatever. But what's going on now, man, is that they are actually doing I guess it's a series about me, Swift, Cutmaster Swift, one of my homeboy A-Dogs that used to be in the dance crew. He's still in the dance crew called the Crowd Pleaser. They did a lot of choreography for Outkast, them, you know what I'm saying, and went on the road with Outkast, them, and then they became their own group. And then this guy named Kaheen, which is the film director. It's called The Marvelous South Side. So it's a teen film. about me, with us all coming up as DJs in the hip hop scene and dancers and all that stuff. So it's been accepted in 3 film festivals already.
Okay.
Netflix at the table, I think Lionsgate at the table, Paramount at the table. So, and they actually, the next series they're going to shoot is about me. My whole story of me coming up as a DJ, producer, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm excited about that. It's a whole new leaf. I produced like 5 songs in the actual movie itself.
Wow, incredible.
And it wasn't, all of these songs are not hip hop songs that I produced. And that's all I've been trying to get out to the world, because when people know you from doing one genre of music, they want to kind of keep you in that box. And I'm like, I'm not just a hip hop producer. I produce R&B. I produce EDM, I produce all different kind of music, man. Southern soul, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to, show the world that, things didn't stop at That's Right. Things haven't stopped at Nasty Dancer. Things haven't stopped at all my past records. And I know me being independent, me getting this news out to the world, marketing wise, people don't know all the new things that I have accomplished and that I have, in store for the future. And some say I'm ahead of my time, and I believe that too. But once, the world tapped into the DJ Taz that, my mama knew that I was going to be, and God knew that I was going to be, I think they're going to be very proud, and I think they're going to be very impressed on, the music and the idea and just being a genius coming from it. I never called myself that, but that's what they call me. I'm a humble guy. I'm a fun guy, and I never like the spotlight. I just want my work to speak for itself.
Right.
I want to be appreciated for my work. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's the reason for the interview. You know what I mean? Is to kind of pull out a lot of the things that you've done that people may not know. Of course, some people know the hit records, some people don't. Some people understand who DJ Taz is, and some people don't. But, I think as we continue to move forward and get the information out, I think it'll all eventually connect. You know what I mean? So congratulations on that series, and I can't wait to see it. Okay, so before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the continued success of the twerk, booty shake, ATL Miami kind of sound, right? Because, it started as DJs, obviously, in the South, like you said, taking, very fast up-tempo, 808 beats, mixing it with slow songs, which kind of birthed the record My Boo and a lot of other songs, right? Especially, like with your hit records. But even to this day, the twerk and that booty shake sound is still very prevalent, even the New Orleans bounce. How do you feel, because you were a part of this movement, how do you feel of the continued success of this in today's music?
Man, listen, people keep forgetting it's fun music. It's fun.
Right.
And everybody ain't a trapper. Everybody ain't gang. Everybody, saying, it's not, selling drugs or doing drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We had fun. And people sometimes forget about having fun. And you know what I'm saying? And some people forget about, saying like, being from Atlanta, the strip club capital of the world.
Right.
We cater to 2 things with this kind of music. But two different kind of, people with 2 different occupations. We produced music catered to the strippers. The Nasty Dancer songs was like maybe a strip club anthem. and maybe the first strip club anthem. You know, and then, you know, we made music for the strippers of Atlanta, and apparently it hit the world. Then we made music for the dance culture that was here. And all that music was up-tempo, fast music. But the twerking motivation came from the strippers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, you know, you're a man. Everybody like to see a little something, do a little something every now and again. You know, everybody like to see some ass shaking.
Right. I mean,
twerking going on. Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what the success of Luke and 2 Live Crew, you know what I mean, and the Miami bass sound was the women's involvement of the dance, right? And us wanting to see, we enjoyed it, but then it was like, you know, once it kind of started, you know, going into Atlanta, it kind of got a little R&B-ish, so it kind of got a little bit more smooth. So not just the strippers, but the women and everybody who like to dance and have fun could enjoy it, right? So I just thought I'd ask you, you know, because again, you were a part of the movement, and how you felt about, even to this day, you know, if it's City Girls, if it's Drake, if it's Cardi B.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it because what it gets to show the younger generation is whoever produced them gave them an idea, hey man, y'all need to come out with this kind of record. Or they may have came up with themselves and say, man, we want to make this kind of record. Not only that, once they made them records and they went out and performed these records and they seen how it's impacting the world, even when they perform these records, and they like, oh, it's a whole different monster. This is a whole different genre of music that we wasn't doing.
Right.
We see a whole take on it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, they got a song with Usher. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and they brought it back. And I'm like, the transformation of this music coming back to the dancing and to the twerking or whatever. Hey, man, I love it, man. You know, I love it because what that does is somebody been doing their research and their homework.
Right.
And they like, hey, man, you know, some people may be getting tired of getting shot and getting killed. You know what I mean? With the music, you know what I'm saying? But going to jail. But you know what I'm saying? But this music, you know what I'm saying, it never got nobody in no trouble too tough.
Right, absolutely. So what would you say is the future for Southern hip hop, but specifically Atlanta hip hop?
Well, one thing I always notice about, you know, Atlanta is that it's always a talented person somewhere up under a rock somewhere that need to be discovered. And I done ran into a few of them. If I had it my way, if I had me a budget of all budgets, you know what I'm saying, I'm just a music lover. And I see these kids, I see them, you know, even some of them ain't kids. You know what I'm saying? Some of them grown people.
Right.
That's talented than the mug, man. I see like somebody like Green Socks. A lot of people don't know about Green Socks, man. He's named Green Socks. He actually wears green socks every day. But he can sing, rap, and perform. And if you pull up his pant leg, he got green socks on. I would honestly put a lot of I would honestly, you ask him what you put, why he wear green socks. They got a reason why he wear green socks. But that's I would actually sign somebody like Green Socks, man. I got somebody, you know, that's 60-something years old and ain't showing enough pimping. I would sign somebody like him. See, I don't like the fact that there's age when it comes to hip-hop with music. I don't like
Right. I totally agree. Absolutely.
I don't like you separating, this music for the kids. No, I don't like that, bro. Man, listen. I mean, I would put somebody like Dennis Taylor out, man. Like, I would put money behind, like, it's so much unhidden talent here. You know what I'm saying? That's different from what you've been hearing from Atlanta.
Right.
It's so much. And, you know, everybody have their time. But I know back in the day, it was against the rules. It was forbidden to bite somebody a style or sound like anybody else.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at the most unique artist that's different from anybody, that don't sound like nobody but them.
Right, absolutely. So other words, there's a bright future for Southern music and hip hop out of Atlanta and the whole music scene. You believe that it's gonna keep holding on to the music business.
Man, yes, man. It's still some diamonds in the rough, man.
Very
but
nice.
They got to open up their minds to be able to, just like LaFace Records, just like LaFace Records did when they came to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go to get organic, homegrown talent. Don't sound nobody because they sound like somebody else. Get back to actually developing an artist and seeing the potential of them being around for a long time, forever, without going to jail or killing somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Taz, listen, before we get out of here, please give us one last plug of your new projects, what's out there, you know what I mean? Give it to us one more time.
Okay, listen. Since that You Mad Boy just dropped, you know what I'm saying? It's going with my new team. Y'all gonna make sure y'all go pick up that You Mad Boy, or go listen to it, YouTube, download it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, stream it, however, on whatever platform you're listening to. Go pick up that Tap In record, you know, DJ Taz featuring King Russell. And go pick up that Wild Cow record, you know what I'm saying? Get It Out the Mud, Jody, Colors. Go pick up that Show Enough Pimpin' album, man. You know what I'm saying? Go pick it up. He got a whole album out called Pimpin' Hard. And then go pick up that Dennis Lucky Taylor album, man. He got a couple of them on Dennis Lucky Taylor, which is descendant from Johnny Taylor. Go pick up his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, go pick up my youngest brother, Lonnie Mac album, man. You know what I'm saying? Just go Lonnie Mac with 100 stacks. Go look him up.
Wow. So much great music coming out, right? And
yeah, man. So we just been putting them out, and we just eventually people catch up. You know what I'm saying? As we promote whatever catch fire first, whatever. We just putting them out. We ain't letting them sit in our computers, man.
Wonderful. So how can our listeners continue to follow DJ Taz?
Well, you can, go to my Instagram. Is The Real DJ Taz. That's DAREAL DJ TAZ. And you can also Facebook, because my original DJ Taz page is messed up, so you might have to go to The Real DJ Taz on Facebook as well. And on Twitter, original DJ Taz on Twitter. TikTok, I think it's The Real DJ Taz on TikTok as well. And yeah.
Wonderful. So Taz, listen, I want to thank you, everything you've done for the hip hop, Atlanta hip hop movement. You've got a lot of hit records under your belt, and I want to thank you for allowing me to interview you for Vinyl Esquire. Vinyl Esquire is the DJ podcast that uplifts the DJ culture and honors our legends. My name is DJ Rip, and you have been listening to the legendary DJ Taz.
Hey.
Hello world, I want to welcome you to Vinyl Esquire, the podcast that delivers culture, truth, music.